In today's video, we are going to be talking about money. And no, this isn't Monopoly money or play money, it's Canadian money. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how we spend ours. Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm Hannah and this is Char With Me. On this channel, you can expect to find genuine and authentic content. So if you're interested in watching content that explores real life, go ahead, click the subscribe button, and don't forget to tap on the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. As some of you may or may not know, my husband and I are child-free, and so we spend money maybe a little bit differently than some couples do. The way that we spend our money isn't vastly or drastically different than most couples, maybe a little bit more or a little bit less in certain categories because we don't have kids. Since my husband and I have gotten married, we actually pool all of our money together. And so we have joint bank accounts. We don't each have our own account where we do our own things with money. So most of these decisions are things that we have done jointly as a couple. The first thing on the list, however, is something that I did on my own before I met my husband, and that is I invested in my education. And yes, education can be a massive investment, not only your time, but also your dollars. I've always thought that education is really important, whether or not you go the traditional route with education or you do something a little bit different. I've always been very interested in going to university, and so that is something that I felt was really, really important to invest in. Now, because I've thought for a long time that I never really wanted to be a mom and I didn't want to have kids, I wasn't afraid of student loans. Maybe I should have been. But I was not afraid of student loans because I figured, hey, you know what? I'm going to get an education, I'm going to get a really stable job, and then I will just work away at paying off my student loans. And I wasn't bothered by having student loan debt because I figured I'm not going to have kids, so I can use that money towards my student loans instead of using it for my kids. I did a 4-year undergraduate degree, and then I decided, you know what, I haven't had enough of school or punishment yet, so then I went off to graduate school, and that's when things got very expensive. I'm going to make a whole other video on my graduate student loans because it really deserves its own video. I've got a lot to say about student loans. Anyhow, so I invested in education and student loans. One thing that is also very important to me is that when I make a promise to borrow something, I will repay it. And so paying off my student loan became a top priority as soon as I graduated. Some people have the option of doing student loan forgiveness programs, or they can tie into their job, paying part of their student loan off. That was not the case for me at all. It was all me having to pay it back 100%, which I think is fair because that is what I signed when I signed on the dotted line. So my husband and I made it a huge priority to pay off my student loan. And because we didn't have kids, there was no reason that I couldn't live on a tight budget just like I did when I was in university. The next thing on our list was our home. Now, my husband and I have only bought one home together. He had a condo before we bought our house. Typically when people buy houses, they'll start off in a condo, an apartment building, and then maybe from there they'll move into a bit of a starter home, and then eventually when they have a family and they need more space, they will move into a more family-sized living space. We decided not to do this for a number of reasons. The first one being is we know that moving is really expensive. There are all sorts of fees attached to moving. It's not just buying the home, and we really wanted to avoid all of those fees as much as possible. We also wanted a home that had a big enough space that we didn't have to spend money storing our stuff in a storage facility. Because what is the point of having a home and then not being able to have all your stuff in your home, and you have the extra expense of storing your stuff off-site somewhere? A third thing that was really important with our home is that we wanted to make sure that we could live on our own. We didn't want to have renters or someone living beside us or above us or below us. We really just wanted a space where my husband and I could live in the home by ourselves. We picked a budget that we felt we could comfortably afford, even if one of us lost one of our jobs. Wanted to make sure we could still afford our house, and then we searched for our home. And the home that we found fit so many of the things we were looking for. Of course, homes never fit 100% of the things you're looking for, but the home that we found was big enough that if we had somehow changed our minds and decided to have kids, we would not have to move. We really like the neighborhood and the part of the city that we live in. We have trails around our house that we can go running or biking or hiking on. It's safe and well lit so that when I decide I want to go for a walk by myself, my husband's not worried. And we even see the occasional bear and deer, which is kind of a bonus. So we were definitely blessed because we were able to buy something that has now lasted us for 10 years, and we see ourselves living here for quite a long time yet. I mean, obviously the day is going to come when this house will be too big or we want a different location, But for right now, we are loving our home that we have, and it's fit our needs really, really well. Another area that we tend to spend our money on a fair bit is our future or our retirement years. So several years ago, we started investing money into RRSPs and TFSAs. RRSPs are similar to an American 401k. We think that saving for our future is really, really important. So it's our responsibility to go ahead and save up all the money that we can, or all the money that we think we'll need at some point when we are no longer at the age where we can work or even take care of ourselves. And because we don't have children, we may have to hire people to take care of us at one point in life, so we want to make sure that we can save up as much money as we think we will need. Obviously, the markets are up and down and nothing is certain or for sure, but if we've done our part and saved up, when we get to that place in life, hopefully, at least part of it will be available for us. Now, that's kind of responsible stuff that we've been doing with our money, so every once in a while you do have to have a little bit of fun. And Michael and I both really enjoy traveling and exploring different places. So several times a year, we will do weekend trips or a week away here or there and just explore some new spaces, new areas. And then every so often, we will do one big vacation trip, which is usually a couple of weeks long. We realize we are really blessed to be able to do this because this is a splurge, and sometimes there are families who don't have that because there are other expenses that we may not have. And we know it's really special, and we have really appreciated all the trips that we've got to go on so far and all the memories we've got to make on those trips. One of the things Michael and I enjoy doing with a little bit of extra money that we have is we enjoy spending it on other people. And we think this is really important because it can be a little bit selfish if you only ever spend everything on yourself, even though, yes, you've earned it, but I think it's important to give back to other people. And one of the things that we enjoy doing is spending money on our nieces and nephews. They're quite varied ages right now. Some of them are basically grown up. Some of them are still quite young. So we have enjoyed taking them on little trips. We enjoy taking them on outings, spoiling them, getting them little treats, doing fun activities with them, because it's really fun seeing the excitement, especially on a kid's face when you're doing something with them that they are so excited to be doing and they're having so much fun. And that gives you a lot of joy when you get to help create that memory and see them having a lot of fun. Those are some of the ways that we spend money as a child-free couple. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you have children, what's something you find yourself spending a lot of money on? If you don't have children, what's something that you spend a little bit more money on that maybe a couple with children doesn't spend money on? Go ahead, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.